welcome to the Alvechurch Winter Carp Campaign Diary 2. Today, at the moment, I'm not on the bank, I'm in my room. I'm going to be going, it's the 1st of January, so it's the night before I go fishing at Alvechurch, and before I got to the bank I just wanted to show you a few little bits and bobs that I'm going to be taking tomorrow, the rig and the bait mix that I'm going to be using. So to start off with the bits I'm going to be taking, a few little bits and bobs. The first thing I want to show you is the ESP bits bag, which, to be honest with you, I can't, now that I've got it, I can't live without it. It's basically what I call a rig or terminal tackle organiser. It just has loads of different sections in it, little visible slots to put your little rig bits and terminal tackle in. It just keeps you more organised. I've got my artificial baits in one section, hooks in another, surface bits and bobs in another section, and then my lead system accessories and some silicone sleeve hook length accessories and stuff in there. So yeah, it's basically a terminal tackle organiser and just keeps you more organised. So that's why I didn't really like carp fishing before, it's because I wasn't organised, so I spent a lot of money on there as for luggage just to keep myself a bit more organised. Next thing I want to show you is obviously one of the most important things in my armoury is the my tackle box. Just keeps everything organised, the same as the rig bits, but what I keep in here is rig bits, hook length connectors and hook length connector accessories, rig material, my spawn, and some lead systems, safety clip systems, and tank sleeves, just lead accessories, and yeah, my spawn, which I'm going to be using tomorrow to bait up my swims. Just allows you to bait up more accurately, and it just prevents you from having to go across the lake to feed up, and you can get your bait further basically. So that's why I like using the spawn. The next thing I'm going to show you, obviously the kettle, is my what I call a rig safe. And it just, I don't actually tie my rigs, I don't normally tie my rigs before I go on a session. I like to tie them on the bank. Just basically, you can't always be prepared the night before. It's better to tie them when you're there, so you can make the rig exactly what you want it to be, to suit the situation that you're in on the day, because you don't always know what swim you're going to be in, and you don't always know what you're going to be expecting the night before. So that's why I don't like tying the rigs before, because I like getting there and seeing what my situation is like and then suiting the rig to that situation. So yeah, that's why I have the rig safe. Just what I do is just put the rigs that I've made on the session in there. So I never tie them before, but I always reuse the rigs that I tie in a session. And then the next one I'm going to show you is the actual rig that I've decided to use tomorrow. The reason I've decided to use it is because I'm going to be using a bait mix that contains boilies, and I wanted something that kind of stands out, but doesn't stand out as much as a pop-up rig. I just wanted to use a critically balanced bait, so it's just popped up off bottom, just so it stands out a tiny little bit, but doesn't stand out too much. And the rig I've decided to use is the critically balanced or snowman or topped up boilie D rig. Some people call it the IQ D rig, but I haven't used the IQ fluorocarbon, so I call it just a D rig. I've used the ESP 15-pound Ghost fluorocarbon. So the 3 reasons why I like this rig. The first reason is it turns over really aggressively. I mean really aggressively. As soon as you try and pull the rig, it wants to turn over, like so. See? Really quick. The second reason I like to use it is because the hook bait, it allows the hook bait just to cover the hook. It doesn't cover it up to like totally cover the hook up, so the hook it can't turn over and catch hold. So it doesn't take the it doesn't obscure the hook's hooking ability, if you know what I mean. But it just covers the bend of the hook and prevents the fish from getting spooked from seeing the hook, and it just prevents the fish from seeing the hook basically. But it doesn't take the hook, any hook ability out of it, so it still allows the hook to turn over and catch hold of the fish's mouth. The third reason I like to use the rig is it has the blowback effect, so it moves the hook bait away from the hook and prevents the fish from being able to use the hook bait to unhook itself. And the fourth reason, yeah there is 4 not 3, sorry, is it allows the rig to kick away from the lead So that's why I put the sinker on there. It allows the rig to kick away from the lead and just straightens it out on the cast, so it's not all curled up on the bottom. So it improves your presentation, and it also allows the rig to reset itself if a fish spits the bait out, and yeah, it just allows you to always be fishing, even if a fish does you, basically. So yeah, that's why I love using the D-rig, for those 4 reasons. It's just an excellent rig to use. I would use it in any boilie situations. I wouldn't use it in a particle situation. I would always use it if I was using a bait mix containing boilies or over a spread of boilies, and I would also use it for fishing at long distances, but I've decided to use it at Alvechurch because I just think it would really work there, because fish do like to go for standout baits, but I think the pop-up presentation will be a bit too alarming to the fish and just stand out too much. So I want something that stands out but doesn't stand out too much. So that's why I've used the D-rig. And then finally, the bait mix I'm going to be using contains hemp, because obviously everyone knows that hemp is an excellent fish attractor. It leaks off a lot of oil, a lot of scent into water, just draws the fish in, and I just love the crunch of the hemp. Also, it's a small particle, so it gets the fish grubbing around in the swim and just keeps them in there a little bit longer than if you were using boilies, because it's harder to suck it all up. So yeah, just get them grubbing around for longer. Boilies, obviously, to get them used to seeing the hook bait, and to get them used to feeding on the hook bait, and yeah, just to attract the fish in, get them feeding. Fishery owned pellets, obviously, to give that they're used to seeing it, just gives them something that they're used to feeding on, and just yeah, gets them feeding. Liquid attractant to give off a nice cloud, draw the fish down, and it just sets off a nice scent trail that draws the fish in. Same reason that I'm using putting ground bait in the mix as well, to give off a nice cloud, draw them down. And then crushed boilies as well, same reason as the hemp, to get them grubbing around for longer, and yeah, just gets them grubbing around. It just takes them long to scoop up all the little particles. So yeah, keeps them in there for as long as possible, gives you a better chance of them finding the hook bait. So yeah, that's why I'm using that bait mix. So yeah, that's everything. I think I've showed you the bits I'm going to be taking tomorrow, the rigs and the bait mix. Join me about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, where I should be on the bank on the Arrow Pool at Alvechurch Fishery. So yeah, see you there. As you can probably tell, I've arrived at Alvechurch Fishery. I've chose peg 3 from the entrance because it gives me nice control of the lake. I can fish towards the aerator, and I can fish towards the bank towards the entrance. Just gives me a few options, because at the moment the wind is just drawing this way at the moment, but it might change direction and draw this way or that way, so it just gives me a few options. I've got my barra here. I'm just going to go and get the rest of my gear, get set up, and then we'll get fishing. I'll show you the rigs and the bait later. Thank you. Well, you join me in my bivvy now. I've set up all the gear. I've put about 6 bombs out on the spot that I found with the marker lead, about 1 metre or 2 from the aerator. here at Alvechurch. I'm going to put one rod to the right of the aerator and another rod to the left of the aerator. The reason I'm going to be fishing towards the aerator is because I know that the fish really like to swim around it. They just feel really safe next to it. They just feel like the anglers can't get to them there, so that's why I fish there. It's just a safe area for the fish, and I just feel really safe around the aerator. And it's also a good patrolling feature that they like to patrol around. So that's why I fish there. So as I said, I've put 6 bombs out on my right hand spot. I'm going to put another 6 bombs out on my left hand spot in a minute. At the moment I'm just boiling the kettle, so I'm going to be tying a D-rig in a sec, just so I can straighten the D-rig out, and also I'm going to have a drink as well, a hot drink. So yeah, I've got the right hand rod's already out now. It's on a topped up. I've got one on a topped up boilie blowback rig, which is my right hand rod. Then I'm going to put my left hand rod on a critically balanced D-rig, or topped up boilie or snowman D-rig. And then I'm also going to be switching between which hook bait I top my boilies off with. My right hand margin, my right hand rod, I put a little pink artificial bit of sweet corn on there. It's can't find it at the moment. Here we are. It's the fruity squid from Corda. I put my right hand rod. I top that off with the fruity squid, and then I'm going to be topping my left hand rod D-rig with rather a little bit of Enterprise pop-up yellow sweet corn that's been put in food in the KG1 liquid attractant, or I'm going to top it up with a little halved Scopex squid red pop-up. So yeah, that's basically the rigs that I'm going to be using. They're both going to be fishing with the same lead system, a safety clip lead system. Just show you that. All it is I'm going to have a quick change. It's called a stick clip. It just allows you to quickly change between your rigs, and it allows you to thread on a PVA stick, as in the name, the stick clip. And that's going to be covered with silicone sleeve, just to prevent obviously the rig from coming off, and it also kicks the rig away from the lead, and it just straightens the rig out and improves your presentation. It also prevents tangles as well. And then I've got I think it's, yeah, it is the clay, or yeah, it's rather clay or gravel lead clip and tail rubber, and I've got about half a metre of rig tubing just to pin everything down, and it also prevents the line from rubbing on the fish's scales and lifting any scales off. I've got 1.5 ounce lead. You don't need anything too heavy here, because as I said, it's only about 20 metres across. And then coming up to the line, I've got a little, large Corda sinker, and it's about a metre away from the rig tubing, just to allow the rig, if I do snap off, it just allows the rig tubing to come off. And what the sinker does is just pin up the main line down. It just prevents the fish from getting spooked from the main line, and yeah, it just prevents the fish from being able to see the main line. Just pins everything down, keeps it away from feeding fish, and yeah, just decreases the chances of spooking the fish. So yeah, that's my lead system. I've already showed you the rods I'm using, the reels I'm using. The line is the touchdown line from Corda. So yeah, I'm going to tie the D-rig now, get my left hand rod out, put some spons over it, and then all we have to do is wait for a bite. But it's not looking really very well for a bite at the moment. It's about 3 degrees at the moment, maybe 6, pushing 6 at the most. The water is absolutely freezing. I highly doubt the fish are going to be in a feeding mood today. I don't think they're going to feed very well today, so that's why I've only put 6 spons out, and I'm not going to put any more out on each rod. I'm just going to put 6 spons on each rod, leave it, and just leave the rods out all day, and just see if a fish trips up and picks one of my rigs up. So yeah, just need to wait and see now. Right, so both rods are out now. I put another 3 spods around the spot. Oh, that's a beep. Oh. I think it was a line bite, but it's gone. That was the right hand rod, which I've chucked out on a little snowman, not the snow slash the same lead system. They're, and then my left hand rod's fished. I put a snowman D-rig on that one, same lead system as I showed you earlier. Yeah, as I said, I put 3 spods around the area. I'll show you the bait mix in a bit, and I'll also show you the rigs in a bit as well. But what I've decided to do is just leave the rods out for the whole session, don't mess with them, and just see if a fish eventually trips up and picks up my hook bait. So yeah, but my right hand rod's getting a few line bites. That was definitely a line bite. I thought it was the wind, but you can tell if it's a line bite or the wind when the bobbin lifts up a bit. If it's the wind, the bobbin won't move at all. But what's just happened is the bobbin went up about 3 or 4 times and dropped again. So I had about 3 or 4 line bites then. So yeah, good signs, good signs. So yeah, let's just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Well, it's about 10 to 20 minutes since I've last spoke to you. I'm currently cooking a bacon sandwich because it's absolutely freezing, as I keep on saying. I just wanted to show you my setup. As I said, I've got 1 rod over there, and then I've got 1 rod over there, so left hand side of the aerator and then the right hand side of the aerator. Oh, I think it's just a wind, that, but I can't tell. Yeah, I think it is just the wind, to be honest with you. I wouldn't pick the rod up until it absolutely roared off, but there you go. So yeah, take about 5 more minutes to cook my bacon sandwich, and then I'll eat my bacon sandwich and show you the spod mix, and I might show you the rigs, but I'm probably going to show you them in another video, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to use the same rigs for most of my sessions because I just know that they really do work here. I might eventually turn over to a pop-up rig, like a pop-up multi-rig or something like that, but I'm mostly going to stick to critically balanced bottom bait rigs, basically. So yeah, because the baits and the rigs that stand out that work really well here are just baits that don't stand out too much, but just stand out just enough. Like you want to use quite high visibility topped off baits, and then you want to just use a normal boilie, the free bait that you're feeding the fish with, basically. So yeah, you just want a little bit of colour just to grab the fish's attention and draw them down towards your hook bait, but you don't want it to be too obvious and too alarming to the fish. Basically, the fish here are really acute, and one thing can turn them off your bait, your rig, basically. And you really don't want to overfeed them here either. You only want to put, in the winter, 9, 10, maybe not. Sometimes I don't even put any spods out, but about 4 to 5 spods, maybe 9 if I think the fish are feeding quite well. I put about 6 or 7 spods out today. I'm just trying to get the fish feeding. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going to eat my bacon sandwich and I'll get back to you later. Right, so it's been about 2 or 3 hours since I chucked the rods out and baited the swims. I haven't had a bite yet, so what I've decided to do is go over to my backup plan, which is to go and actually look for the fish instead of just sitting on and waiting for the fish to come to me. So what I'm going to be doing is a little bit, it's kind of stalking, but it's kind of just trying to, I'm going to basically just walk around the lake, try and see if I can find signs of fish, and then just chuck a rig to them and see if I can't get a bite. So I'm going to be using the kind of close call stalking kind of rig. It's a really simple rig. The hook length side of the rig is just basically it's kind of a topped off boilie / snowman knotless knot rig. It's simple but very effective. It turns over really well. I'm using the captor curve hook. I'm using the Scopex Squid Red Boilie, topped off with a little bang on bait from DCSM. I've got a little sink there for two reasons: pin everything down and to kick the hook end away from the lead. Silicone sleeve, which actually kind of acts like an anti-tangle sleeve as well, just kicks everything away from the lead, straightens the rig out, improves your presentation. An inline lead, which is kind of semi-fixed, but it can come out very easily if a fish does break me off. It's kind of a semi-bolt rig, but it will come off if, as I said, a fish breaks me. Tail rubber, about half a foot of, about a foot of rig tubing, again to pin everything down, prevent the main line from spooking the fish, because you don't want to spook the fish when stalking, because that'd be it, then you won't catch anything. And again a sinker to pin everything down. So yeah, it's a critically balanced hook length, just sits like that basically, and I'm going to be fishing this rig in conjunction with a small, somewhere in there, a small PVA bag of crushed Scopex Squid Red Boilies and some Fishery owned pellets, just to put a little bit of traction around my hook bait and to draw the fish down and draw the fish towards my hook bait, just again to increase my chances of the fish finding the bait and just to get them feeding. Just you don't want too much bait around there, you're just trying to look for one bite, so that's what I'm doing. It's just one mouthful of bait that I'm going to put. So yeah, that's the rig. Let's go in there, try and catch something. Right, so it's about 3 o'clock now. Unfortunately, I haven't had anything today. I think the fish have just been completely off the feed. I've had a load of line bites. I've fed the swim with about 6 bombs today, but they're just not having it. I tried a bit of stalking earlier, I just seen the video, but they're just not having it. I think it's rather the feed, or I'm getting something wrong. It might be the fact that I've actually overfed them today. I should have put 1 or 2 spawns out instead of 6. So what I've done now is I've put about 10-11 spawns out, but this isn't for today. I've given up for today. Unfortunately, I have had a blank today, so I'm going to try and return rather next week Thursday or next weekend, and try and have something then. Just put a lot of effort. I'm going to have to put a lot of effort into trying to catch one of these fish. So yeah, as I said, just been completely off the feed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Diary 2. Stay tuned for Diary 3, which will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.